Shaquille O'Neal wasn't just a basketball player, he was a force of nature, a giant who made the rim his personal punching bag, shattered backbones like they were made of paper, and dominated the paint like no one else. Defenders, too small. Double teams, too weak. The only real strategy against him was hoping he missed free throws. He was fast, powerful, and ridiculously skilled for a guy of his size. But here's the thing, was Shaq just a physical monster, or was there more to his game? Was he truly unstoppable, or did he have weaknesses that history tends to overlook? Let's break it all down. Shaquille O'Neal's journey to basketball greatness started long before he became an NBA star. Born on March 6, 1972 in Newark, New Jersey, Shaq grew up in a tough environment, but his towering height and raw talent set him apart early on. His stepfather, Philip Harrison, a strict military man, kept him disciplined, while his mother, Lucille O'Neal, made sure he stayed humble. As a teenager, Shaq's family moved to San Antonio, Texas, where he attended Cole High School. That's where things really took off. He led his team to an incredible 68-1 record over 2 seasons, including a perfect 36-0 championship run in his senior year. Opposing teams must have felt like they were playing against a giant, because, well, they were. At 7'1" and still growing, Shaq was an unstoppable force, averaging 32 points, 22 rebounds, and 8 blocks per game. College recruiters lined up, and Shaq chose Louisiana State University, LSU, where he quickly became a dominant presence. In his freshman year, he averaged nearly 14 points and 12 rebounds per game, but it was his defense that made headlines. He blocked 115 shots that season, including 12 in a single game. The guy wasn't just a player, he was a human highlight reel. By his sophomore year, he was the best player in college basketball, winning the Adolph Rupp Trophy as the NCAA's top player. He was a 2-time SEC Player of the Year and a 2-time All-American before deciding to take his talents to the NBA. In 1992, the Orlando Magic made him the first overall pick in the draft, officially launching the career of one of basketball's most dominant players. Shaquille O'Neal's NBA career is packed with achievements that solidify him as one of the greatest players in basketball history. From the moment he entered the league, it was clear he was going to be a problem for defenders. In his rookie season with the Orlando Magic, he averaged 23.4 points, 13.9 rebounds, and 3.5 blocks per game. Numbers so dominant that he easily won the NBA Rookie of the Year award in 1993. That was just the beginning. By the 1999-2000 season, Shaq had fully taken over the league. He won the NBA Most Valuable Player award, leading the Lakers with an absurd 29.7 points, 13.6 rebounds, and 3 blocks per game. He didn't just win MVP, he nearly did it unanimously, missing out on just 1 vote. Shaq's presence at the All-Star game was practically guaranteed. He made 15 All-Star appearances, and 3 of them he was named the MVP. Whether it was dunking on defenders or joking around with teammates, he made sure fans got their money's worth. When it came to winning championships, Shaq delivered. He won 4 NBA titles, 3 with the Lakers alongside Kobe Bryant, and 1 with the Miami Heat. His most dominant stretch came during the Lakers' three-peat from 2000 to 2002, where he won 3 straight Finals MVP awards, averaging over 35 points per game in the 2000 Finals. Shaq was also an elite scorer. He led the NBA in scoring twice and finished his career ranked 9th in all-time points. His size and strength made stopping him almost impossible. He also ranked 6th all-time in field goals made, 15th in rebounds, and 8th in blocks. His impact on the game was so massive that he was named to the NBA's 50th anniversary team in 1996 and the 75th anniversary team in 2021. With a career full of records, dominance, and entertainment, Shaq didn't just play basketball, he owned it. Shaquille O'Neal wasn't just big, he was a nightmare for defenders. At 7'1" and over 325 pounds, he was one of the most physically dominant players the NBA had ever seen. Most big men his size were slow and stiff, but Shaq, he moved like someone half his weight. His footwork in the post was surprisingly quick, and when he got positioned near the basket, there was no stopping him. Defenders had 2 choices, get dunked on or foul him. A lot of them chose the second option, which is why Shaq was one of the most fouled players in NBA history. Teams even developed the infamous Hack-a-Shaq strategy, intentionally sending him to the free throw line, knowing he struggled there. And yes, his free throw shooting was rough. He shot just 52.7% for his career. But let's be real, when you're making nearly 60% of your shots from the field, does it really matter? Shaq's game wasn't just about brute force. He had elite touch around the rim, an effective jump hook, and surprisingly good passing for a big man. If a double team came, he could kick it out to shooters. His dominance in the paint was so overwhelming that he finished his career with a 58.2 field goal percentage, ranking 3rd all time. And let's talk about his dunks. Shaq didn't just dunk, he demolished rims. In his early years, he literally broke backboards multiple times, forcing the NBA to reinforce their hoops. That kind of power is unheard of. What made Shaq even scarier was that he had no real weakness in the post. Too small, he'd bully you. Too big, he'd spin right past you. Too slow, he wouldn't even get a hand up before he was already scoring. Shaq wasn't just a dominant player. He changed how teams played defense. Coaches had to game plan around him. He forced teams to get bigger, stronger, and more physical. And even then, most of them still had no chance. Shaquille O'Neal was a one-of-a-kind force. But how does he stack up against other legendary big men? Let's start with Hakeem Olajuwon. Now, Shaq dominated almost every center he faced, except for Hakeem. In the 1995 NBA Finals, Olajuwon schooled a young Shaq, sweeping the Orlando Magic. The man had footwork like a ballet dancer, and a bag of moves so deep it probably had a secret compartment. Shaq later admitted that Hakeem was one of the few players he couldn't just overpower. But the thing is, that was a young Shaq. Prime Shaq? That's a different story. By the early 2000s, he was steamrolling through the league, and not even Hakeem at his best would have had an easy time stopping him. Now let's bring in Wilt Chamberlain. Phil Jackson, who coached both Shaq and played against Wilt, often compared the two. Both were physically dominant, but Wilt had freakish stamina. He once averaged over 48 minutes per game in a season. That's right, he played more minutes than there are in an actual game. Shaq, not so much. He needed breaks, and let's be real, he wasn't exactly known for his diet. However, Shaq had one thing Wilt didn't: a reliable jump hook. Wilt relied on pure strength and athleticism, while Shaq mixed in some actual finesse. And let's be honest, Shaq played in a much tougher era. Wilt was dunking on guys who looked like substitute math teachers, while Shaq was bulldozing through the best defenders in NBA history. At the end of the day, Shaq was a combination of Hakeem's footwork, Wilt's dominance, and a personality bigger than both. He wasn't just great, he was a game changer. Shaquille O'Neal didn't just play basketball, he changed the game. When he arrived in Los Angeles in 1996, the Lakers were searching for their next superstar. And they didn't just get a star, they got a 7'1", 325-pound wrecking ball. And then came Kobe Bryant, and together they built a dynasty. From 2000 to 2002, they won 3 straight championships, and Shaq was the finals MVP each time. His dominance was so overwhelming that teams had to resort to fouling him constantly, hence the infamous hack-a-Shaq strategy. It didn't stop him though. He averaged over 36 points per game in the 2000 finals. But Shaq's legacy isn't just about rings and records. It's about the way he made basketball feel. He brought dominance with a side of entertainment. Whether he was breaking backboards, clowning with reporters, or rapping on the side, he was larger than life, literally and figuratively. After retiring in 2011, he didn't just fade away. He became a Hall of Famer in 2016, a FIBA Hall of Famer in 2017, and somehow an even bigger personality off the court. He's been in movies, made rap albums, and let's not forget his business moves. He owns franchises like Papa John's, Krispy Kreme, and even part of an NBA team. And then there's his job as an analyst on Inside the NBA. He roasts Charles Barkley, gives hilarious takes, and reminds everyone why he's one of the most beloved figures in basketball history. Shaq wasn't just a dominant player, he was a cultural icon. His impact on the game is undeniable, and his influence extends far beyond it. If you love basketball, you've got to appreciate Shaq. And if you love great content like this, hit that subscribe button for more.